Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on the agenda for today is the MSI 1080 Ti Duke. This is one of the bad mammer jammers from yesteryear. Yeah, I know, the 1080 Ti is old now. It's hard to believe. It's October 2018 right now, and the 2080 Ti is already out, so the 1080 Ti is old news. But if you're like me, the 1080 Ti still has a lot of tread left on those tires, so you can still get that card and do and play pretty much anything you want to. It's still viable for mining. It's still viable for video gaming. You can do VR on them. They're really powerful cards. So since I'm a miner, welcome. You know, if you're new here, Brandoncoin. I predominantly mine, but I also do some light gaming. I'm going to show you the mining side of things on the Duke 1080 Ti and also the cooler design and just a little background on the card. So let's go check it out. Yeah, let's go check it out, guys. Alright guys, so I'll start off with the overclocks first. On MSI Afterburner, I have the memory clock at around 707. Sometimes you can get it a little bit more. This one will hold about 800, but it's only stable for maybe a couple days at a time. But at plus 700 on the memory, which puts it up to 5805 megahertz on the actual memory speed or clock, she is bone stable for weeks at a time. The core clock I just bump up just a slight little bit, so it's on plus 30 right now. And with the Ethereum pill, of course, the enlargement pill, see it's running right there, we are getting, if I can zoom in on it, around 52.5 to 53 mega hash. This actually will go up if I don't run the display on it, but I currently am running the display. This is the 1080 Ti sitting next to the new 2070, and for size comparison, the 1080 Ti is actually more narrow than the 2070. The 2070 is an armor, and this is the Duke, and you can see on the top it lights up. It says, you know, Duke. Cool looking card. We're going to, let's see, what it's got the triple fan design on it. Let me see what the temperatures are. I like to keep it around 70. I see it's bumping up to 71, 70, back and forth. It's got that hot 2070 right next to it. I leave the fan somewhere around 70 to 80%, and that keeps it usually in that 70C range. I don't like them going much over 70C. 75 is kind of what I think, you know, it's like the upper end of what your temperature should be. But the Duke really has no problems with that. On the 1080 Ti spectrum, talking to some of the older, or you know, the veterans, some of the smaller coolers that came on other cards would have issues trying to keep them cool, but the that big cooler on the 1080 Ti Duke is actually doing a really good job. So what that profitability comes out to on, let's see here, we are doing ETC. So let me bring up what to mine and see what that 52 or 53 mega hash actually equals out to. Because right now it's calculating my 2070 and the 1080 Ti together. Alright, so with looking at what to mine at 53 mega hash, it comes out to about 89 cents a day before electricity. Guys, you'll just have to figure out your electricity cost, but my 1080 Ti pulls around 180 watts at 70% power. So let's see what actual other things show up on what to mine for profitability. Alright, so I just punched in the 1080 Ti as 1, and right out of the box it's looking like Raven is the most profitable, doing $1.28 a day, and then Nice Hash Raven is second. Bitcoin Core or Bitcore is actually third at $1.13. Bitcoin Gold. So there's a lot of stuff that's actually more profitable than ETC right now, which leads me to my next thing that I'm probably going to be flipping a lot of my NVIDIA cards over to directly mining Nice Hash with Raven. But that'll be a future video for sure. If you guys are interested in it, of course I'll be uploading it. But yeah, so let's pop this 1080 Ti out and just have a look at it physically, because it's a good looking card for sure. Alright, so I went ahead and popped out the Duke out, and just for reference I have a 1070 Ti reference model from NVIDIA to show you guys the size difference. Because for the longest time the 1080 Ti was, like, no joke, one of the biggest graphics cards around. These were what I would consider like a, you know, a school bus. And whereas the reference designs were, you know, just like a regular bus, a little bus, mini bus, a short bus, you know. huge coolers on them, huge triple fan design with a massive back plate on the back. It's got some cutouts. It's got overhang for the cooler to actually blow some of that hot air through. Obviously, being a 1080 Ti, it does have the SLI hookup, so you can run these in tandem or three-way if that's your thing. Me being a miner, I'm not a huge like SLI guy. I have multiples of 1080s, you know, 1080 Ti's and that kind of thing, and I've never actually done it. So I need to buy me a NVLink and get it hooked up. Now, as for displays, it still is running a DVI, and then it's got 2 HDMI and 2 DisplayPort. So you got some options on that. But the biggest thing is the Duke takes dual 8 pins, whereas a lot of other 1080 Ti's will be an 8 pin and a 6 pin. But the Duke has the power delivery to actually feed this thing for heavy overclocking. And some of your heavy overclockers really like this card. This is probably underneath, obviously, like a Kingpin or a really high-end version. But a lot of people will jump to the Duke over the MSI gaming cards due to the extra cooling and I believe extra power delivery. I'm not sure if the gaming has dual 8 pins. But I believe the gaming only has an 8 pin and a 6 pin. I know I have an MSI Seahawk, the water-cooled version, and it's an 8 pin and a 6 pin. It's not a dual 8. So the Duke is definitely a higher-end card, and you can now grab them at what seems to be a really good rate. So we'll jump onto the computer and see what these things are selling for used, and really show you what you can get for your money. Basically, this is going to play any modern game at 1080, no matter what. Like, it doesn't even matter. And then you can jump into your 1440p and even some 4K on a lot of stuff too. You may not be able to squeeze a full 60 frames out of 4K on a lot of stuff, but you won't have any issues on 1080, 1440, or you know, your 2K, and then a lot of stuff on 4K. Just not everything, obviously. You could SLI them though if you wanted to. But yeah, let's see what these things are going for used. Alright guys, so we're jumped over here onto the computer. I'm just doing some searching through eBay, and I found here's a MSI Duke 1080 Ti that's been mined on. Looks like about $575. So it looks like you can get them right around this $600 price range, which I mean, that's, you know, nuts and bolts compared to what they launched for. I believe MSRP on the MSI 1080 Ti Duke, which we're over here on the MSI site, and it kind of just shows like all the little special stuff about it, blah blah blah, you know, the triple fan design. Let's see here, where are we at? MSI Duke 1080 Ti. I think these are in the $800 range, brand new. Can you even buy them brand new anymore? $699. That's eBay. Are they not available new? Maybe not. But I believe these were in the $800 range. Available from these sellers. Who's the sellers? Yeah, $799, $799, $822. So for being able to get these things for like 200 bucks off, awesome deal, awesome cards. Basically one of the kings of the air-cooled cards for sure, with the upgraded power delivery and being able to push some high speeds on mining. So on your Ethash algorithms, being able to touch 54 to 55 mega hash. Obviously, if you're not running a display through them like I was, you can get a little bit, you know, get a little bit more. I was only getting about 53. But solid cards nonetheless. These are one of the only cards still out today, the 1080 Ti's I'm talking about, not the Duke specifically, but that are still breaking that $1 a day mark. A lot of cards have fell underneath that with the bad market we have, but you know, solid for sure, solid. I will be taking a look at my the 1080 Ti Seahawk and just comparing some differences and seeing how it's doing in an upcoming video. So just take a look out for that. And guys, thank you for watching. This is Brandon on Brandoncoin, and I'll see you on the next one. Adios.